Cleoni from IamCleoni.com, and I am here with
Tiffany Ford.
Tiffany is actually running as
the TDSB trustee for York West.
Wonderful. I got my button on. I heart Tiffany Ford. So we are going to actually do a quick interview about mental illness. I have a few questions for you. The first thing is, why do you think it's important to bring more awareness to mental illness in our community?
Well, it's really important because a lot of people are affected by mental illness, including their families as well. In our community, which is York West, it comprises of very marginalized areas. Jane and Finch, where I'm from. We're actually here in Jane and Finch at York Gate Mall.
That's right.
So I'm very thankful that Cleoni came down to, interview me here in the mall. And we're in the food court where there's a lot of things happening.
Definitely.
So mental illness is a major issue, and the awareness needs to be continuous. It's not, a monthly thing, when there's like awareness month or a weekly thing. People's lives are at stake every single day with mental illness. Sufferers have to deal with it on a daily basis, and it affects, how they are in schools, at work, or it affects even employment. So it's serious concerns, and we need to discuss it continuously.
Wonderful. The next thing I wanted to ask, I know you're running for TDSB trustee.
Yeah.
So how do you think mental illness can be more provided, like more support can be provided from people in the school system? Because there are many people who, unfortunately, many children who've been misdiagnosed with different behaviors, and they don't get the help that they need, and we know that it can actually affect their self-esteem and their performance. So what are your thoughts about mental illness in the school system, how we can support our kids, especially from a young age?
Absolutely. There's a lot of young children that are misdiagnosed and also diagnosed. For instance, I have a goddaughter who has a lot of the points for autism, but apparently she doesn't have all the points. So she is in our school system. Well, she was in the TDSB, or Toronto District School Board, but the care wasn't really provided in terms of correct placement. There's also these meetings called the IPRC meetings, which is the placement meetings for either gifted or special needs children. They're very intimidating to parents, especially parents that are newcomers. They don't necessarily listen or consult with the parents. They kind of say what they feel is best for the child with special needs, or place them in places that, it's more for quota or what have you. So I've heard from parents the frustration of being intimidated by the IPRC meetings. The problem is that we just need a more holistic approach to caring for children, caring for those that have special needs, mental illnesses. It's not just about the schools, it's also about professionals outside of the schools. What are they saying? What are they diagnosing our children with? And then where are we placing our children, and who are we placing them with? So there needs to be more consultation, more community engagement, more engagement with parents and children and students in regards to that. So I just feel that overall we need to have an overhaul of what's going on with special needs in our system, in our school system. And when it comes to mental illnesses, for instance, I myself was diagnosed with chronic anxiety and chronic depression when I was younger, especially in high school. And I spoken with my counselor about it, and then they sent me to a psychiatrist, and we spoke. And at that time I didn't really see anything happening. There wasn't really anything, and I couldn't speak to my mom about it. So there's a lot of young people that are dealing with it on their own. So we just, again, need to have a holistic approach to caring for students that have mental illness or are clearly, acting in various ways, acting out. And it might be because they have issues, you know? And we can't police them. That's one thing that people are constantly doing. And I disagree wholeheartedly with having the police calling you instead of the principal calling you. You shouldn't be policing our children because we don't know what's going on. So why should the police be the first individuals to call you? Especially with Black children, racialized youth, marginalized youth in this community. It's a big issue that we need to discuss.
Wonderful. And so what are your thoughts? Like you touched on the police and being stopped, people being stopped with who have a mental illness, or so what are your thoughts on the relationship between the police and those with mental illnesses, like how they should interact, and I'm just interested in what you think.
Cleoni, you know, and most people know, a lot of the times people are killed by the police and they have mental illnesses, and it's a huge issue. It's a huge concern, North America wide, clearly. And we have this happening here in Toronto on a daily basis where people are being stopped because they're considered threatened or acting in a threatening way. And these are people suffering from an illness. So the police have to be more informed. They need more resources to understand or see patterns or behaviors that could correlate with a mental illness. They need to be. That's a bigger topic.
Yeah,
clearly, right?
I know.
But in the schools itself, teachers, principals, or police officers that are in the schools now need to see these patterns or need to have the resources. So again, it has to be a holistic approach to understanding the needs of children and understanding, mental illness overall. It's a society issue, right? So, yeah.
I love that term holistic, because I do believe that if you're going to treat mental illness, it definitely needs to be done holistically, which means I'm talking about the education, your relationships, your certain, different communities, whether it's your spiritual community, social community. There's just so many different ways to treat. And then also there's medication.
Yes.
You can't hide from medication. Sometimes medication is necessary.
Yes.
For me, medication was necessary.
Right.
And I just believe that if we do look at, mental illness as like a pie with all these different pieces, they all come together. There's different sectors that come together, and if we all do our part, we can actually work towards making people feel whole.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my next question. You mentioned that you had a mental illness. How did that affect you? And what did you have to do to overcome or to not allow your mental illness to be something that defined you?
Absolutely. That's a good question. I've been suffering with chronic anxiety and chronic depression for many, many years. So that's why it's considered chronic.
Wow.
It was diagnosed maybe, I don't even know what year that was, but while I was in high school. Probably a little bit after my father passed. And it's a daily struggle. I was offered medication, but I decided not to take it. One of the things, it actually affects my life because I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, because I want to perhaps be, that's the kind of personality that I have. But I also was so anxiety driven that I didn't want to do interviews.
Wow.
So I didn't, upon graduating from university, I was just so fearful of even going on a job interview that I just decided to start my own business. That's how extreme it is.
That's how it feels. It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? And so now, even I'm still working through it, and now that I'm running for an actual public position,
wow,
it's really also helps me break out and be able to talk and not be scared. So this is something that's helping me in the long term as well. So this is it's one of the reasons why I'm doing it as well, right? So So it affects me a great deal, and I'm still working on it. And I guess I do things extreme, like running for public office, to kind of break out of my anxiety. So, yeah.
Wow, that's encouraging.
Right.
So, why do you think it's important for people with a mental illness to share their stories?
Because we're not alone, and we need to be able to resonate with individuals that have the same stories as us, and it inspires and encourages people to continue, and without losing any hope. Because a lot of people that have mental illness are, they can commit suicide.
Yes.
Because who wants to deal with that on a daily basis? And so we need to be able to share stories with each other and share stories that can inspire us to keep moving forward.
So, as people probably can see, we are also both women of color.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts about how mental illness is dealt with in the Black community?
Good question, Cleoni. I mean, it's still stigmatized. It's still taboo. I think we're starting to slowly get out of that, and we're talking more about it. Clearly, Cleoni's talking about it, which is great. She's taken an initiative upon herself to really start engaging with people online, engaging with people via interviews, clearly, so we can discuss it more. I'm sure a lot of people don't know that I suffered with chronic anxiety and chronic depression.
See, you can't even see it.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? It's not as though we walk around with a sign that says mental illness.
Yeah, but it affects me, and it's really important for us to discuss it and talk about it, and hopefully we'll be able to have, again, this holistic approach of caring for each other. So it's important for us.
Awesome. The next thing I'd like to ask is, I guess with my initiative, which is Happy Home 42, which allows people to share their lived experience with mental illness, why do you think this could help our communities and help other people, either the sufferer or people at large?
Well, Happy Home 42.
Yes.
And I think that's an interesting title, by the way.
Would you like to know what it means?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Happy Home 42. First of all, happy. I got this from the song Happy, Pharrell. Yeah. When I was going through my depression, I played this song for a whole month.
Wow.
Every day, because I was really struggling to stay happy, to find reasons to live. Like the year before, was in a serious depression. I told myself I'm never going back here. And then in 2014, I actually started feeling those same emotions. And that's when I started playing that song. I was introduced to the song, and it literally kept me from going back into a depression. Home, because I believe that if you want to talk about mental illness or any other really serious issues, it needs to start in the home first.
Yeah.
The family, it's a support system. So I want to kind of create an environment where it's like a happy home. That is why we, as a cast, we're sitting around a dinner table. We're creating a home environment. And some of the people have a mental illness and some don't.
Okay.
But together, it's like we're a family, we're a home. And then 42 came from the...
Trustee Ford, how's it going?
So, hello. We're actually doing a video right now. I'll hit you up soon.
It's okay.
It's okay.
So 42, should we edit that?
No, it's okay.
No, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
So 42 is, there was a movie, Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
His movie was called 42, and his jersey number was 42. When he retired, they retired his jersey. So I want our initiative to leave a legacy.
Nice. That's good.
Well, Happy Home 42.
We need it, Cleoni. Obviously, I'm able to speak, get the message across about mental illness and the school systems, all of that, because of you. So yeah, we absolutely need Happy Home 42.
Okay.
And please support it.
Wonderful. And do you have any other final words that you would like to leave?
Just encouraging words, perhaps, to continue to focus on whatever it is that you want to do, your dreams, your aspirations, even if you have challenges. These challenges are always made for you to be better and do better. So I thank you for the opportunity, Cleoni. And it's weird because I've actually Interviewed Cleoni a couple of years ago when I was working with the York West Advocate newspaper, and now she's interviewing me. So, thank you.
Interesting, I know, it's like going full circle.
It is, it's pretty cool.
So, like I said, I have my little I Heart Tiffany Ford button.
Oh.
So, she is running for trustee in the York West. This is her flyer. You definitely, if you're in the York West, I want to, encourage you to check her out and, vote for her.
Thank you. And you can go to tiffanyford.ca for more information.
Cool. So this is Cleoni from I Am Cleoni signing out. Bye.
Bye.